Oh. Whew. Hello, my Belfast 1000 Nation. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's had a great day. And hopefully I'm about to make it a little bit better. Alright, today we're going to be starting it off with some MINDSEED TV, and this one is titled Curse from Investigating the Queen of Voodoo, Extremely Disturbing, Scary Paranormal Results. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so we're going to get into it. Go ahead and turn your lights down low, put on something comfy, cuddle up with someone special. Let's get spooky.
Voodoo and paranormal kind of go hand in hand.
Well, I would not be one of those trying to provoke.
Is there anything you would like to tell people?
This is like a small opening to find a camping ground.
I mean, you can get in trouble just being in a graveyard and being disrespectful.
It's starting to rain. We really need to hurry up and set this tent up. Dude, that looks like a handprint on you, for real.
That's not creepy at all. Oh, that's hilarious. Hold on. Following content may be considered disturbing to some. Any traumatic experiences or effects that may come from watching this video is not our responsibility. I've never seen that before. Oh, shapoopy. Shapoopy. Please watch at your own discretion.
We found this topic very vital to investigate, seeing as Marie Laveau was the queen of voodoo in New Orleans. Some people believe that while she was alive, she practiced dark magic and cast spells and curses upon people, while others believe to this day she's more of a healer and people still visit locations of her shrine in order to make wishes for prosperity and health. Nonetheless, this is as real as it gets when it comes to voodoo. So Tanner and I headed to New Orleans in order to uncover more and investigate the actual history of Marie Laveau. We knew it would not be an easy task trying to contact or make communication with a spirit of this nature. However, we had to try.
Of course, because you have to try. It's just me, or does my beard look extra fluffy today?
So we made it. We're here in New Orleans, about to get some Cajun food.
Yeah.
You about to eat what? What are you trying to get? Mussels, oysters?
Oysters.
Gosh,
I'll eat
so
50
nasty.
oysters today.
Yeah?
I'll eat over 50 oysters.
Oh, check that out.
That's pretty creepy looking. People visiting
That
New
is
Orleans
creepy.
would probably be surprised to see just how many voodoo shops there are and
how knowledgeable the people that work there actually are. It was super interesting to learn.
We're here. We're in the home of Voodoo right now.
We obviously got a feel for the town the first night. We went out, had a couple drinks.
One day I got on my knees and I prayed, just looking up on my soul. Saying, God, put your please, God, away.
I mean, New Orleans is something, bro. Like, they're something all on their own down there. All kinds of bad stuff can happen to them. I mean, look, you got Hurricane Katrina, Ida. They bounce back, bro. You can't hold New Orleans down. I mean, I give them props, bro. Not to mention Mardi Gras. Titties everywhere. No place like it. And if you ain't walking down the street drunk, there's something wrong with you. I mean, they look at you like there's something wrong with you. They're like, there's something wrong with that guy. He don't look right at all. Yep.
Show me peace, I don't know.
I love it.
I felt trapped inside of my room, knowing that I can't leave. I can't face the world today, overwhelmed with things I
And they got history for days.
Tracing down the Voodoo Queen, Mary LaBelle.
Lord, I am so sorry, this is not an excuse. I just wanna ask, can I cast my cares on?
Did he really just sit in the bar? Cheers. We're first on New Orleans. We're hunting down Mary LaBelle. I don't think he's hunting Mary LaBelle. He might be hunting a Mary, but the night he's going to spend with her and the night that she's going to spend with Mary LaBelle is just two completely different kinds of nights. One's probably going to be a lot more eventful than the other.
We asked around, met some locals, and they gave us a name, Jacob Dragon, a man that's super knowledgeable about the particular subject we were investigating, so we decided to pay him a visit and get a tarot card reading.
I've never actually had a real tarot card reading or visited a real psychic. This was my first time doing so, but I definitely wanted to see what kind of information I'd be able to get from the cards.
What kind of answers?
From the other side, just trying to see if there's truth behind it. Just any kind of contact. We look at it like we use any kind of history. Yeah, answers.
But you're looking to prove it in some objective way. Is that right?
Yeah. Kind of
Like you want to see if you put yourself over them or should be. I mean, you can get in trouble just being in a graveyard and being disrespectful. What I will say, though, is that the cemeteries here be extremely respectful. Right. If you are attempting to have some communication with spirits, nothing is going to make you 100% safe in those situations. But you are a lot more likely to come out unscathed if you have a respectful approach.
Right. And that's what we usually do.
I would not be one of those trying to provoke.
I'd go in there and start poking stuff with the stick.
When the death card flipped, I think me and Casey both kind of got the chills.
One of the cards that flipped was the card of death, and I think Tanner and I looked at each other like, whoa.
Alright, so I'm going to give us kind of an overview first. In general, I would say this is a fairly positive overall outlook, especially given your question. But there are some problematic elements,
Like the death card. He basically said a lot of good things, but there was a few things that were questionable.
So we'll start with that one, mainly because I don't like staring into the whole time. So the death card actually does not mean that you or anybody else is imminently about to die. And just as a full disclaimer, if you know someone in your future that does die, it's probably nothing to do with it. I do it. Yeah, of course. The problem that the card represents is actually more of a worldview and kind of a self-image problem, where you have this idea that in order to make anything good happen or to produce any value for other people, you have to sacrifice or suffer in order to produce some effect.
it was definitely a bit spooky. And the cards came up that related to me, the Gemini, and me being like some sort of guidance for him.
This card here, this the Knight of Swords, this is one reason that I think you are making it through this relatively clean so far. Gemini is the air sign, and generally the air signs are more rational, cerebral, logical kinds of personalities.
So the funny thing is, this guy here, he's been a friend of mine for a while, and he started doing these investigations recently. And the first thing that you said about this card was like, the reason that I'm moving through this so kind of like cleanly and untouched is because you said Gemini, right? He's a Gemini.
All the stuff we actually learned about LeBeau, it was really badass.
Mary LeBeau. We kind of traveled out here because we wanted to learn more about her. We plan on visiting her tomb or crypt. Any recommendation or advice on any type of offering or any way to get any kind of interaction do you think that would be the best route?
Here's what I would do. For one, you have to realize this was a Voodoo practitioner. Voodoo is an alliance for religion. If you have any at all sense of entitlement going into that,
It's not going to be good.
but if you are looking to have some kind of an actual encounter or something or sign or signal or whatever, you're more likely to get it if you have made some
Some kind of respectful approach. Okay.
He gave us a lot of valuable information as far as future investigations, as far as what we're doing.
There's a reason that for thousands of years people leave offerings of food on their altars, offerings of water, offerings of liquor, whatever. It's because the spirits, the deities, whatever that they're interacting with, can actually partake of that energy.
Okay.
And food, especially if there's anything like a human spirit, we bonded with humans over, for hundreds of thousands of years by sharing food.
Yeah.
I like food. I ain't sharing my food because I like food. I ain't buying with no one then. Bro, let me get a piece of that pizza. We're not friends. Go away.
All right, so now we're approaching the shrine, and this is said to be even like more of an important site than her actual grave because her body was believed to be stolen. So we have some offerings that we're going to go offer to a shrine, and we're hoping that'll give us maybe some way to get closer or communicate. Ready? Yeah, let's go. People say if you leave offerings at her shrine, she'll typically do what you wish for.
Win the lottery. I mean,
A lot of people wish for things like wealth and health, and Tanner and I,
that is
the
a
only thing
heck
that we
of a
asked
shrine,
for
though,
was
bro.
for her to communicate with us.
All we asked for was communication. A lot of people asked for blessings or health or whatever. All we wanted was a chance to communicate with Marie.
That's reasonable. I mean, I would ask for money.
We were given a tip of a location to go to, but we could only access it by boat, so we had to actually get a canoe.
Oh, God.
Let's see, we got an 8-person modified, $84. 6-person dome, 10. Looks good to me.
That's pretty cheap for a 6-person dome tent, though.
Ready? I'm fucking as ready. guess I'm gonna be 10 to 12 foot alligators. Yeah, let's go.
Shoot, I didn't think about that. Oh, God.
Apparently back over here, across this, there's dry lands, woodlands, and this is where a lot of the voodoo activity and rituals would actually take place. And the only way for us to reach that is by hopping in this small-ass canoe, paddling over there with our camping gear, and spending the night there to see if we can make contact or make any kind of activity. These are all mosquitoes.
I hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes and black flies. Oh, my God. They love the fat boy. It's horrible.
Alright, so I think we got everything. We got food for the night for those. We got the tent, sleeping bags. We got all of our equipment. Oh, alright, I'll do it. I think we're ready. How you feeling, Tan? Yeah, we got a ways to go still. Yeah. Keep rolling. Once we made it down the back canal, it got really narrow, and there were tons of lily pads. You know that this is gator-infested waters.
I don't see no eyes.
It's like a small opening to find a camping ground, which is fucking insane. I feel like we're almost led on a goose hunt right now.
This one's very dramatic.
I think this is it, bro. Looks like the closest we're gonna be able to get, honestly. All right, let's pull that boat up.
Here, I'll follow you up a little bit.
All right. So we just found a flat area. Looks like a little clearing where we might be able to pitch the tent tonight. We're gonna try to set it up real quick. Let's see what you got back there. A whole lot of nothing. So, if anything, this seems like the only spot that we could get out here, but apparently this is where this woman used to come. It's starting to rain. We really need to hurry up and set this tent up. As soon as we started taking gear out of the boat, the rain started coming. It started pouring rain. Right here? Yeah? This looks like a pretty flat spot to me.
That is unusually flat. Like,
Yeah, it's getting really cold. It's starting to rain. Okay. We started building our tent in the rain. We needed to get our shelter as quickly as possible.
God, gator. You boys make me nervous.
I mean, I'll grab the spotlight, but like, I'm not comfortable being right next to whatever. I'm not even joking. Yeah. Remember when we were saying, oh, we're just going to go find a Voodoo Queen's hangout spot, like no problem. Yeah. We're like, oh, when we go to New Orleans, we'll check out her grave. You know, try to go communicate with her because she's kind of a big name in this world. Yeah. Can get in a boat, canoe, like 2 miles. Yeah. Build a tent in the rain. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's an adventure, though. Adventure time.
Canoe, like 2 miles. Yeah. Build a tent in the rain. Like, what the fuck? Canoe.
Whoa.
Like 2
What
miles.
is this? What is that?
Yeah. Build a tent in the rain. Like, what the fuck?
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
We could also hear branches breaking around us the whole time. There's fucking branches breaking and shit moving over there. And it sounds big. Yeah. Alright, well, hopefully the more noise we make, the more it'll stay away from us. It's not a comfortable feeling. It felt like being in the real-life Blair Witch projects. I don't know if, like, there's enough dry land out here for it to be like a bear or anything. Maybe a huge gator.
Does New Orleans have bears?
This is brought beef jerky.
For reals.
Awesome. Alright, so I guess we're just gonna keep rolling according to plan. Did you bring that doll?
Mm-hmm. This is Chloe from Myrtle's Plantation. She got her ear cut off for listening to stuff she wasn't supposed to. And poisoned and murdered owner of the home's 2 daughters and wife while he was away on business.
Wow.
This is your way to communicate with us right now. Is there anything you would like to tell people? What about this doll? How do you feel about this? Oh, you hear that? Heard something. How do you feel about this?
It likes dolls.
I don't like it.
Like it? You like this doll? Marie, can you say something to the Ovilus, please? Give me something. Give me a sign. Give me anything. Equal what?
Want to be treated as an equal?
Oh, we're safe?
Okay, that's good.
She says safe. I don't feel safe.
We were getting some activity on the spirit box. We weren't sure exactly what it said at the time.
Oh, it says safe. Oh, we're safe. I don't feel safe at all.
But we are hearing all around us. I was going to say I heard steps to my right, but I didn't want to freak you.
Yeah, I heard steps behind me. The footsteps are getting loud, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You hear that,
yeah,
right?
No, there's something out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should probably chill on the spirit box.
It's light.
That sounds fucking close. Dude, grab my gun. You can get this shit ain't going down like that, dude. It got to a certain point where I felt like, you know what? I don't like...
This shit ain't going down like that, bro. You know. I love his enthusiasm.
Being inside of a tent and not being able to see what's around me. You know what I'm thinking? What if I don't like not being able to see anything, and now that the rain's kind of letting up, maybe we go outside and light a fire. Okay. We could light a fire. Yeah. And we could keep running our tests, but then at least everything will be lit, and we could see what's going on. I don't like feeling like I'm trapped in a box with walking around. You know what I mean?
With no visibility.
Them and that damn Ouija board. That is the smallest fire I've ever seen in my life. That's not gonna scare away Jack, bruh.
1, 2, 3. Marie Laveau, if you're out here with us, can you please communicate with us through the board?
No.
Instead of breaking branches and making footsteps around us, can you give us some clear communication?
No. I understand the premise of using a spirit board, demon board, blah, blah, blah. The Ouija board has been used for hundreds of years. I've seen some really bad things go down with some Ouija boards. Even in my personal life, like you probably don't want to summon a voodoo priestess with a Ouija board. I'm just saying, that's probably not the smartest idea in the world.
Give you a while if you'd like. I just want to talk. Marie, earlier you were trying to talk to me. I could hear you through the spirit box. You told us we were safe.
Is it just me or is the wind really starting to
Are we
pick up?
safe? Can you say yes? It doesn't really feel safe out here. Is this where you came to perform your rituals? You can move this to yes or no. You can spell something out if you'd like. You can give us numbers. Can you give us any kind of sign? We came a long way just to be here and communicate with you. Should I spin it again?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Marie, now's your time. Talk to us, Marie. Move it to goodbye? Yep. So we've already done a spirit box now for about 20 minutes. Got a Ouija board, haven't gotten anything. We could leave the Ovilus running. Mm-hmm. We could leave the EMF detector on. But I kind of just want to like sit out by the fire with the gun for a little while. Yeah. And just make sure there's no like big animals out here. Yeah. It's freaky out here. It is freaky. Long day. Canoeing, hiking, camping, getting rained on. It feels like we did all this shit for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, we got a little tiny something on the spirit box, but I didn't feel anything like concrete. You know?
Yeah. Y'all got that face in your tent,
Seems like whatever was out there.
which you probably don't know about.
Finally went to sleep. Hope so. That would be nice. We could just prop this up somewhere so we can both chill. I gotta hold this thing. That's the one thing that sucks about being a vlogger. You know? You have to hold the camera all the time. You gotta have the right vlog kit. That was actually pretty cool. I have a little fire looking at it. There you go. Bam. Damn, that's gangster. There it is. How you guys like that? You like that? Leave a comment down below. You know what's weird thinking about uploading the video? Being in the middle of nowhere, telling the viewers, leave a comment down below.
Right now, you're kind of just talking to yourself.
I am.
But
later, I'm
you'll
going to be talking to them. Yeah. It's weird. It's cool, though. Yeah.
I tried doing the vlog thing when I first started on YouTube because I didn't have the setup. And I will contest it is weird. Like right now, it's weird because I'm talking to you guys, but you guys are not there. I'm just talking to that camera. Now, if someone didn't know, I did YouTube or something, walked in and they're like, who the hell is he talking to? Because the only thing behind me is a window. And it's got a curtain in front. Like, it's awkward. Be walking through Walmart holding your camera and talking, and everyone's just looking at you like. Who you think you are?
Well, the morning's going to be a long morning. Yeah. We got to pack everything again. Get back in that stupid ass boat again. I will say this is probably going to be a lot nicer in the daytime, though. Mm-hmm. You know? How creepy was that? Like going through that dark ass swamp. Just like that. Gators. Yeah. You saw the one set of eyes. I don't think I was recording that when we saw the eyes. No, I think that happened. But it wasn't like an intense moment. I mean, it was pretty decent, but it was like a small alligator. I think it was probably like maybe a foot and a half, just like one eye sticking out of the water, glistening, and then it went under. Nothing big. But. We get ourselves into some crazy shit, huh? This trip has been I love what I do. Yeah. But it's exhausting, dude. It is pretty exhausting.
We were not alone the next morning.
Dude, you got all over your back. No, I mean, like, it looks like bug bites or something. Dude, that looks like a handprint on you, for real. I'm gonna take a picture and show you. Hold on. There's another one over here.
These weren't scratches. These were very clearly defined, and you could see small handprints, much smaller than mine, much smaller than his.
Dude, that looks like a handprint on you, for real.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take a picture and show you. Hold on. There's another one over here.
That's great. Like, you can even see the little thumb, bro.
They were like little kids' hands. Like, they were too small to be an adult, and they were their handprints.
Yeah, that looks like handprints, and it's like small. I'm not even joking.
I started getting a really, really bad feeling in my gut.
I'm not feeling too hot.
Yeah, that would freak me the hell out. No.
Sick. Your stomach's up? No, you're straight.
I thought I had seen like the worst of what we were gonna see, and then Casey started acting like all funny, like just sick and wasn't talking to me.
You feeling alright, man? Casey? You good, bro? Homie. Dude, that's not good, homie. Dude.
For one, oh, that's so grody. No. Why is he puking up black? Why? What did they drink last night? Cause
I've never thrown up black vomit in my.
I actually have. Excuse me. Drank a little too much one night. Woke up the next morning, puking up black stuff. Went to the hospital. I guess had alcohol poisoning. It was grody. Oh, it was awful. It was awful. Oh.
Entire life. I couldn't catch a breath because I kept gagging and puking up this black stuff.
It's like hard to breathe.
Here, stand up. What do you want? Water? We gotta go.
I would have left the tent. I would have left almost everything.
I think I'm gonna puke again. Maybe in my mind at the time I'm thinking food poisoning.
I've never seen anybody throw a black shit like that. But I knew we had to get going and get him seen.
We gotta pack up the boat, man.
Yeah, let's go.
We had to row 3 miles through alligator-infested waters just to get back to the vehicle, while I felt like I was dying.
No, bro. Nope. I will not be sitting still. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
I don't know what's up with him. That black shit that came out of him was fucked up, so I've never seen anything like that. The whole time in the car, Casey was just kind of sleeping in the passenger seat. I was worried about him. I didn't know what was going on with him, so we got him to urgent care.
They gave me some anti-nausea medication, and I took a few of those pills. I felt better within an hour. They didn't want me to leave until I did feel better, so I stayed in there. And once I started feeling a little bit better, they said I was good to go. A lot of people say, you don't try to communicate with the other side, especially not a voodoo priestess, a well-known voodoo priestess.
What did I say? What was my exact words?
Who's supposedly the queen of voodoo, but that's what we do. So we decided we wanted to try to communicate.
I honestly don't think that we made communication with LeBeau.
Whatever did make communication with us was something much darker.
Whatever marked me or made Casey sick, I don't think it was her.
I don't know if it was connected or not, but me throwing up black vomit in the morning, it didn't really feel like we were with a peaceful entity.
The interesting thing is, as we learn more about the history, she has had 6 or 7 children. Only one of them made it to adulthood. So the handprints were from a child. I don't know if that's connected somehow.
I don't know if this was some kind of voodoo curse that was happening to us or not. We tried.
Yeah, that's
to
great.
communicate. We asked you to communicate with us, but
I don't think we had any communication with her.
Everybody always says not to mess with voodoo, and we like testing those lines. You like seeing if we could get reactions from the things that other people are mostly scared to try.
I'm not going to say scared to try. So, because some people are not scared to try it. Just some people are too smart to try it. That was me. I should have said. Yeah, it's true, though. All right, we're going to watch another MINDSEED TV. This one is called Scary Paranormal. Shadow figures caught on camera in haunted New Orleans hotel. I just really wanted to watch that one with that one, seeing that it was also New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Dude, these bedrooms. Look at this thing. This floorboard looks cool. I'm going to sleep pretty damn good tonight.
There was some activity while we were out.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I love that. It's not our responsibility. Watch at your own discretion.
So me and Casey been doing our research, and the more we learned about the Olivier Hotel, the more we realized that we definitely had to check it out because it's known to be a super active haunted location.
When we first arrived at the hotel, very old feel to it. You could tell it's like a rustic kind of old vintage vibe, I guess you'd say. All the walls are like drywall, crumbled brick.
The Olivier Hotel was actually originally built for Adam Olivier as a mansion for her and her family to live in, and has since been converted into a hotel.
Even the owner said that there's been creepy incidences going on here. People have been hearing things in rooms that are unoccupied. So we definitely wanted to come here, set up some cameras, and see if we could capture anything.
Why not? I love stuff on New Orleans because it is such a historical place. It really is. And it was such a melting pot of so many different cultures. It fascinates me to like no end. Yeah, I like it. I love stuff on New Orleans because you know that place is haunted. You know it. You know it. Like, even if you don't believe in it, you don't go there messing with it because it's like, nah, I'm not a big believer in it, but you know, I don't want to find out there. Let's go to Iowa. We'll find out in Iowa. Why Iowa? I don't know. Who goes to Iowa? Except for people from Iowa. Sorry, people from Iowa. It's true, though.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Wait.
Oh, that's not good. Right off the bat. Yes.
So what's a trip though is the first one it says when we're entering is wait.
Right.
I'm just gonna sweep over here with the EMF into this room. If anybody here wants to let us know your presence, just go ahead. Make my EMF detector go off. It's in my left hand. Okay.
I'm going to close this door. Why don't you close your door behind you and see if you can get them to make your EMF detector go off? I'll be in here with the Oculus.
Sometimes certain entities only want to communicate with one person. So we decided to separate in the first room, check out different rooms.
Oh, this room's dark.
It's nighttime,
There's anyone
bruh.
here that wants to communicate with me. Got an EMF detector on my left hand. All you have to do is make a beep.
Every what?
Every pray gasp.
We'll know you're here. We come in peace.
Every time you
All we want
gasp,
to do
you should pray.
is open up the line of communication. And you can tell us whatever you want.
Did you like the spot we were just standing in? Back over here. Tanner went in one room, I went in the other room, kind of sat in darkness for a while.
We did multiple solo sessions throughout the building. We didn't really get much, so those weren't included in the video.
Had a few words come through on the obulus, nothing too crazy. And then we decided to set up a spirit box in the front room.
If you're here with us, can you please say something from the spirit box? Can you give us a clear voice?
Does kind of sound like hell.
We come in peace, we just want to communicate with our new device to open up the line of communication with you.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
What's up?
You can communicate with us through this device. Please give us more. What's your name? You have a name?
My grandfather Jack died here a couple months ago. He left the house to me as well.
Is this Grandpa Jack?
Oh, we know what we watching next time. We're going to find out about Grandpa Jack. That made me poo a little bit. Shit.
It sounds like you want to talk to me. What message do you want to send?
I'm here. Okay. I'm here.
We're up here. It could be either.
It seems like you're not giving us anything anymore. We're going to move the spirit box into the room next door because we have 2 hotel rooms here. Maybe you're over there, maybe you communicate there. Sounds good. Okay.
Dude, right when I got here, it was like beep beep, and it like flew out of my hand.
That's our room at the end. Yeah, I got the key. Hey, you want to hold the flashlight for a second? Look at this thing. For whatever reason, that's like the first thing that grabbed my attention.
Oh, that's pretty.
Downstairs too.
Really liked horses.
Dude, this bedroom is sick. What's out there? Is that a closet or is that outside? Outside? What's behind this? What the f? Is that a horse's saddle? Yeah, looks like it. So there's a room over here with a horse saddle in it? That's it. It's like enclosed. You still got your EMF detector rolling?
Maybe it's a historic horse saddle. We don't know.
At least we got some big ass beds.
All right, remember earlier when it sounded like I said I'm here, and I said it could have been up here. Did they just walk upstairs to a bedroom? I hope they get something up there. Oh.
I'm going to sleep pretty damn good tonight. This floorboard looks removable. Well, probably not, but see the hole? Oh, yeah. Can you tug it? See the moves? Negative. Yeah, I kind of figured. It'd been cool though to find some treasure. Let's go grab a bite to eat. I'm kind of starving. You hungry? Mm-hmm. Alright, so why don't we set up a couple static cams? Set up a static cam, like maybe on this room, maybe one here. Maybe like from here. So we can get a whole view of the kitchen. Yeah, like the kitchen and the living room. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe like we get everything here. Yeah. And then, we'll go grab a bite to eat.
So we learned from a local voodoo priestess that sometimes when you're trying to communicate with the other side, one of the best ways to kind of break the ice is to offer some type of offering in the form of food, liquor.
If there is anybody present with us right now, we said we come in peace. We're going to go out and get some stuff. Well, we can bring you back something. We said we were going to run out and grab some food. If there was any spirits present, we're going to grab something for you as well. We're trying to come as friends, not enemies. And when we got back, checking the footage, there was some activity while we were out picking up food.
You better brought them something back.
Okay.
You got it? He's stuck in the door. Delicious. I can't wait. All right, so this is the first time we've ever done anything like this before. We brought you pizza.
I'm not saying if you leave pizza out on the counter overnight on accident, it's kind of like a spirits letting themselves into your house, but I'm just saying we were using it as an offering to try to, break the ice and communicate.
Everyone does love pizza.
Or something. Or food. Yeah, right. Yeah, something. So, yeah, I'll stop the camera. We can check to see if we got anything while we eat. While the EMF detector was going off, the Ovilus was sitting next to the camera.
I think it said
And
oppression.
we did get 2 words come through on the Ovilus while we were getting EMF spikes, and it said aggression and maybe. So is whatever's here aggressive? Maybe. That's kind of what I gathered from it.
Maybe if you didn't bring them the right food, they was going to get aggressive and smack you. They look like some big old slices of pizza, though, bro. Where did you get it from?
3 times.
Madam Olivier, are you here with us? Give us a sign, anything.
We brought you an offering tonight. That's something kind of new that we recently started doing. To show you that we're here in peace, we're not coming to harm you in any kind of way. Can you move this planchette for us and let us know that you're here with us?
Are you upset that people use this as a hotel now, when this used to be your home?
I don't know if that means upset or not, but that was definitely something.
That is weird. Like the candles just started like flickering, like some wind was blowing.
Are you upset that people use this as a hotel
Right.
now?
Watch this start blowing
this
towards
used to
them,
be your home?
like wind's blowing that direction. It's communication, though.
Madam Olivier, are you upset that this building is now used as a hotel for random people to come stay at when it used to be your home and it was built specifically for you? We're moving towards the corner over there.
She's definitely here now.
Anytime you get movement on the planchette, your stomach drops. It freaks you out on one hand, but on the other hand, you're happy because it's a direct communication.
Isn't that insane? What the? And that's when this thing starts sliding like that, like complete movement. Yes.
T?
Yeah, T.
Oh, it's still.
It looked like it stopped on the T.
It did for sure. Yeah.
Is it going?
Don't let go.
As we started getting movement on the Ouija board, Pitchfork shifted just slightly.
It can freak me out when that little pitchfork kind of slid out towards us, but we stayed disciplined and we put our fingers on the planchette.
Is it going?
Whoa. Yeah.
Whatever was around us was trying to distract us, so maybe break contact with the planchette.
I've taken my fingers accidentally off the planchette twice now. I'll never do that again. I know now that you have to stay in the zone, you have to stay concentrated, and no matter what's going on around you.
You can't break it.
STA.
No word.
Stop.
STA. Is there?
Madam, if this is you communicating with us, can you finish your statement?
STA.
Was that the thing that just moved?
Yeah, it like slipped out. I saw my peripheral,
Did you?
but there's like a carpet there that it wouldn't, so it didn't fall on the way.
Thank God we didn't take our fingers off.
Dude, seriously.
So the only letters that we got on the Ouija board were STA. Don't really know what that means. Don't know if there's any meaning behind that. It kind of felt like we got an incomplete word or something, but we didn't get any.
Maybe they want you to stay forever, and they just want to try to kill you with the pitchfork. Right? Stay. Pitchfork is sliding. What if it would have fell over and stabbed him in the neck, and then like you went like that? And I don't know. Maybe it was trying to kill you, so you stay there forever.
STA could mean anything, right? Yeah. All right, you want to end this session real quick and see what's up with this thing over here? Yeah. All right, say goodbye. Yeah. All right, we're leaving you now. Goodbye. Safe. Safe. It was this, right?
Yeah, no, it was the pitchfork. Yeah. It's like a wood pitchfork.
Keep the phone out. Close to that.
Yeah, sure, like where it's.
Yeah, so it was standing up straight, right? And it just slid down?
Yeah, just like a, I don't know, a few inches, 6 inches or something.
I think maybe it was like this before or something, right?
Yeah.
And then it just slipped out.
Just kind of slid, yeah.
So, like, what are the chances of it doing that? Like, you know,
I don't know.
Getting movement on the Ouija board.
Oh, dude.
We've already pretty much exhausted all of our options. We've done the spirit box. We've done the Ouija board. We're going to call it a night. We got a static cam on my bedroom. We got a static cam on his bedroom. And we have this static cam here, which we're just going to leave running the whole night. We did have about 5 or 6 static cams set up throughout the hotel. We had 3 in the room next door, and we had 3 on the room that we were sleeping in. All right, dude. All right, man. Catch you in the morning. Anything? I'm right down here. I'll holler at you. Give me a shout. All right.
At this point, you guys know me. I take my sleep serious. As soon as I knocked out, that was it. I slept solid throughout the night.
You never really know what's going to be on that tape until you go through every single minute, every single second, every single hour. We had those things rolling for 10 hours each, so we really had to have our team comb through it. And some of the things that they uncovered while we were sleeping are pretty terrifying.
What I don't understand is why they didn't say in the separate rooms to get a little bit more of a feel for it. Whoa! I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Nope. Because ain't that the door to the outside? And if I'm not mistaken, it's like an enclosed, like little garden area. There's no way to get to it other than that door. Nope. Yeah, someone walked
Well, I
right
was
behind me.
assuming there was a person or a figure outside of my room, and it looked like they were kind of looking in the shadow of whoever was outside my room. It looked like a woman's hat to me, almost like an old French outfit or something. It's freaky.
First thing when we wake up, we upload all our footage to the cloud for our guys to review back at home. And by the end of the day, they'd already gotten back to me with some activity that happened on my still cam in my room. And the door basically just closed, just swung closed. And like, you guys know that could be drafts of air or whatever, but nothing changed. So all night, all the ins and outs of the entire building were the same. No air draft movement. And the door just closed.
They want you to stay. I'm telling you,
Do I
that's
think
what that's
the
trying to
Olivia
spell.
Hotel is haunted?
I do. I mean, we've been to a lot of different places. We've gotten contact through different methods.
Yes, it obviously is. You don't get movement on a Ouija board without
Yes,
some
it
sort of
obviously is.
or entity present.
The EMF detector going off on its own while we were out getting food. A shadow apparition looking in my window while I was sleeping at night. The door in Tanner's room closing. The Ouija board moving.
It just doesn't happen. So I would say, without a doubt, that this is a haunted place.
I would definitely say that this is a highly active area for paranormal activity.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright. So now, as per usual, we are going to end with a little Mr. Ballen. I see. What I like about Mr. Ballen's videos is you get closer to Halloween, he goes for a little bit more spooky. I like a little bit more spooky.
Today marks the beginning of our annual Scarathon.
Alright, this one was titled, If You Hear a Bell Ringing in This Forest, Run. And yes, I do love his Halloween spookathon. It is amazing.
Where for the entire month of October, all I do is tell you true, scary campfire stories. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload 2 or 3 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please offer to sing at the Like Button's wedding for free, and then when it's time for their first dance, sing a rendition of Du Hast by Rammstein in an Australian accent. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into it.
Oh, he's got issues. Du hast me.
In June of 2019, an 18-year-old girl named Bella wrapped up her first year in college and headed home for the summer. Her family lived just outside of this small town in France that was tucked up in the mountains and surrounded by this huge forest. And so growing up, Bella spent a lot of her time out in this forest, either by herself or with her father or other members of her family. And so she knew the forest like the back of her hand. Her favorite place to go in this forest was the man-made lake that sat kind of at the center of this forest. It wasn't huge, but it was a beautiful view. It was very peaceful,
Looks beautiful.
and so she liked going out there. The way she would get to it is she would leave her house, she would hop in her car, she would drive a couple of miles down the road, and she would pull off into the shoulder of this road. And there was no signage that said this was the pull-off to get to the man-made lake. This was an area that she and her family had discovered, that there was this particular trail you could take. And so she would pull off at this shoulder, she would get out, and she would turn away from the road and just walk directly into the trees, which butted right up against the road. And very quickly, after walking into the woods, after going through some thick underbrush, she would reach this kind of clearing, and she would see up ahead this little stream. And off to the left side of this stream is what looked like this kind of beaten up little footpath, but actually what it was an animal trail. So animals just kind of made their way around this area all the time, and so it kind of carved out a path. And so Bella would walk down to this animal path, and she would walk along the path that kind of went parallel with the stream, and she would walk for maybe 15 or 20 minutes until this animal path veered hard to the left, kind of went away from the stream. At that point, Bella would abandon the animal path and just continue walking along this stream, both stepping in the stream on some rocks and standing on either side when she could. And she would follow the stream due north, just going straight into the heart of this forest for about an hour, walking at a fairly leisurely pace until the stream connected with this east to west running river. And at this point, Bella would turn left, facing west, and she would follow along this riverbank about 20 minutes until the river fed into the man-made lake. And so she would stay at this lake, sitting on a rock, enjoy the view, and look at the animals, and listen to nature all around her. And then at some point, she would turn around and retrace her steps all the way back to her car. For reference, one leg of this journey from car to lake or from lake to car took about 2 hours. Part of the reason Bella really enjoyed being in these woods and being at this lake was because it just kind of felt like they were hers. Because up until this summer in 2019, the only other people that Bella had ever seen anywhere in this forest or near this lake were other members of her family. So it really felt very private. So in June of that year, Bella comes home from college, and almost immediately she wants to go out to the man-made lake because she hasn't been in months. She's been in school, and so she's eager to get back to some place that she kind of considered to be her happy place. So one morning she gets up early and by herself, she leaves her house, she hops in her car, she drives the couple miles down the road, she pulls off onto that shoulder, she parks her car, she hops out, she turns away from the road, she walks into the forest, she finds the stream and starts walking along that animal path right to the side of the stream. She walks for a few minutes until she reaches the point where the trail kind of cuts to the left, and she just stays on the stream and is just continuing walking along the stream. And about 30 minutes later, when she was maybe 1 or 2 miles short of the east-west running river, she hears a bell somewhere off in the distance, way out in front of her, out towards the river. It sounds just like a chime, a single chime. And as soon as she hears it, she stops because there's never any people out here ever, and that bell sound came from somewhere in the forest. And so she stops because she's not really sure if she actually heard that, because it could have just been her mind playing tricks on her or something. And so she stops and just kind of listens for a second, and then she starts to hear this bell just continuously start ringing. Now, the ringing was not uniform. It was constant, but it was kind of sporadic, as if you were holding a bell and kind of ringing it randomly, like you might see at a sports game. And so she's thinking to herself, is there a dog that got lost somewhere up ahead and it's got a bell on its collar and that's the sound I'm hearing? But as she's sitting there listening to this kind of sporadic bell sound, she's thinking, that's way too loud to be some rinky-dink bell on a pet's collar. So it's got to be something more robust. Maybe somebody have a bell inside of a box, and that box got on the river, and it's floated downriver, and it's like crashing into rocks or something. I mean, she's going through these very strange scenarios in her head, but she's not concerned about the bell. She's actually pretty intrigued, and since the sound of this bell seemed to be coming from the direction she was already traveling, she decided she would just keep on walking and hopefully see whatever it was that was causing this bell sound. And so Bella just began walking along the stream again, kind of listening to this bell and thinking about what it was going to be. And after about 5 minutes of her starting to walk again, the bell just stops. It goes totally silent. And when it does, it actually kind of startles Bella because she'd been listening to it so intently. And so she stops and she's listening, kind of expecting it to go off some more, but it doesn't. All she hears are the sounds of nature all around her. Now, Bella didn't have an explanation for what this bell was or why it stopped, but she really just wasn't that worried about it. She figured there was some sort of explanation for it. There had to be. And so she just kind of shrugged and kept on walking and put her focus back on getting to the lake. About 10 or 15 minutes later, Bella was still walking along the stream. She was still maybe a half mile or a mile short of the east to west running river when she sees up ahead on the left side of the stream as she's walking, there appears to be something laying on the ground that looks like it could be an animal or a rock. She doesn't really know what it is. And as she gets closer, she realizes it's a beaver laying on the ground, and this beaver is missing its head. Now, this is a huge forest, and Bella would have known that, of course, there are wild animals all over the place, and so finding the body of an animal that had been attacked by another animal was not unusual.
Why is it just missing its head?
What did strike Bella as odd was the cut on this beaver's neck was unbelievably neat and uniform, as if its head had been very carefully removed with a very sharp knife. And the beaver's head was nowhere to be found. It certainly...
I would be nervous right now. Like, okay, yeah. if you're out in the woods and you see a dead animal and you're either it died from natural causes, it's missing its head, then it was attacked by a predator or whatever, yes, that's cool. But for it to be cleanly cut off, that's people, bruh. Someone did that. And they got a sharp knife, and I would not be done with that.
Did not have the appearance of having its head removed from some predator and its teeth. That would have been very rough. Also, the rest of the beaver's body was intact. So whatever killed this beaver was not interested in eating the beaver. As Bella stood over this beaver and was just staring at it, she also noted that there was no smell. Normally, when something dies, it begins to smell very quickly. It's part of the decomposition process.
It had to just happen.
So for there not to be a smell indicated to Bella that this beaver must have been killed fairly recently. And then when Bella kind of gently prodded the body with her foot, she realized the beaver's body was still fairly limp. So rigor mortis had not set in. Rigor mortis is another part of the decomposition process where the body kind of stiffens up. And that happens fairly soon after death. And so as Bella is realizing this beaver must have died very recently, it dawns on her that most likely whoever or whatever has killed this beaver is probably somewhere nearby. And Bella can't help but connect this dead beaver to that bell she was hearing earlier, which before meant nothing, but considering the bell was roughly coming from the same area where this beaver has now been found, it made her uneasy. And so Bella found herself whipping her head around, looking out into the trees, seeing if, there's some...
I would have been uneasy as soon as I heard the freaking bell.
Person, a hunter, or somebody that would kind of explain what was going on, but there was nothing. And so Bella felt herself starting to panic a little bit, but then she stopped herself and said, calm down, it's broad daylight. I have been coming to these woods for years and years. I've never seen another person. I've never encountered some predatory animal. I'm sure everything is perfectly fine. I got nothing to worry about. And so she stepped over the beaver and kept on walking. Bella would eventually reach the east-west running river. She would turn left and walk for 20 minutes alongside this river. She'd reach the man-made lake. She enjoyed the beautiful view and the scenery. And then at some point, she turned around and began retracing her footsteps. She walked past the beaver on the ground all the way back to her car, and she went home. A week later, Bella was sitting around her house when she felt pretty bored and decided kind of abruptly that in order to cure her boredom, she would go back to the place she loved so much, the man-made lake. And so she told her parents where she was going, and then she left the house, hopped in her car, drove to the pull-off, and parked and entered the woods at 6 p.m. Sunset that night was at 9 p.m., and so Bella knew this would need to be a fairly quick turnaround so she didn't get trapped in the woods in the dark. And so Bella finds the animal trail. She follows along the stream until the trail goes left, and she stays on the stream. She continues walking on the stream when she starts to hear the distant sound of thunder. So she looks up into the sky through the trees, and she can see the sky is starting to get dark, but she's still a couple of hours away from sunset. And so between the thunder and the dark skies, she knows a storm is rolling in. But she is determined to get to that lake. And so instead of, turning around and saying, okay, I'll come back another time, she just starts jogging along the stream to get there as fast as she possibly can. And almost immediately as she's jogging, the raindrops start to fall. And by the time she passes the beaver corpse on the ground, it hadn't moved, the rain was really coming down. And then about 15 minutes after the corpse, when she hit the east-west running river, that's when the rain was at a full downpour. Still, Bella turned at the river and continued west towards the man-made lake as if she was going to go all the way, but only about a minute or two into this final leg. She still had about 20 minutes to get to the lake. She stops herself and she looks at her watch and she can see it's after 8 o'clock already. And she's thinking to herself, if I turn around right now, it's going to take me over an hour to get back to my car. Sunsets at 9 p.m. It's after 8 p.m. now. So already I know I'm going to have to navigate this forest at night in the dark, even if it's just for a little bit at the end. And if I go all the way to the lake and then come all the way back to the car, I'm going to be in the forest after dark for quite a while, maybe up to an hour. And she's thinking, I'm confident I can do that, but it's also pouring rain, I'm cold. If I get lost, this could turn into a very bad situation. And so she ultimately decides that even though she really wants to keep going,
she should have decided that a long time ago, Mr. Ballen.
She needs to turn around. She needs to head back. And so she turns around and she walks back up alongside this east-west running river to where the stream fed into that river. She turns and begins walking south along this stream, headed back towards the car. On her walk, because the visibility was starting to get quite bad because it was so dark, she had her head down at the ground because she didn't want to trip. She's stepping on rocks, she's stepping on muddy areas. She wants to make sure her footing is solid. And so her head is down, the rain is pounding all around her, and she's walking for about 15 minutes when all of a sudden something hits her in the top of the head. And so reflexively, she looks up and kind of puts her hands in front of her face to protect herself, and she sees what she had just run into. It was the beaver corpse. It was hanging from a string that was dangling off a branch right above her. And this beaver's head had been retrieved, and the head had been stitched onto the front paws of this beaver. And so she's looking at this beaver that's dangling from this rope.
Why? That's so messed up. I don't know.
It's carrying its own head, and she's walked square into it. And her first reaction was basically to gag. She was going to vomit. She was so disgusted. And then she began frantically rubbing at her hair where this thing had made contact with her because there could be juices from the decomposition that got on her. And then after frantically kind of patting at her head for a second, she stops, and something really terrifying dawns on her. Whoever strung this beaver up to this tree and then stitched its head onto its paws, they had done that in the last 30 minutes because 30 minutes earlier, when she was on her way in, she remembered passing the beaver carcass on the ground. She saw it. It had not moved from where it was the week before when she first saw it, and now this beaver is strung up in the tree. And so as the wheels are turning in Bella's head, she realizes that if someone has just done this, then they are probably nearby. And at this point, it's really starting to get dark. The rain is pounding all around her, and she starts whipping her head around, looking in all directions to see if there's someone out there that did this. But as she's looking, all she sees is just dark forest in all directions. And she knows she's at least 1 hour, even if she runs from her car. And so suddenly she is totally panicked. And in an effort to calm herself down, she says to herself, okay, I need to get out of here, but I have to walk. If I start running right now, this is going to turn into a complete nightmare. I just have to try to walk. And so she walks around this dangling beaver corpse and starts walking along the stream. And as soon as she's past that corpse, she feels the hairs on the back of her neck stand up. She can hear movement behind her. She doesn't know what it is. It could be a deer. It could be some animal, but she's too afraid to turn around. And even though she was trying to tell herself to calm down, just keep walking, you're safe, you're freaking yourself out, everything is okay, as she's walking, she could feel herself starting to speed up until finally she was just running down the stream, sprinting actually away from this beaver and whatever it was that was moving around in that area. And at some point, she got so winded from sprinting so fast that she came to a stop, maybe 5 or 6 minutes after seeing this beaver. And as soon as she comes to a stop and she's walking, she still hasn't turned around yet, she hears the sound of that bell. And right away, it's the exact same sound she had heard the week before. It's that kind of constant, sporadic sound of someone ringing a bell. But in her panic state, she doesn't know where it's coming from. She's so scared. Her anxiety is so high. She doesn't know if it's behind her or if it's off to the side. It's now completely dark out. And so she is full-blown terrified. There is someone or something behind her that has strung this beaver up that's probably watching her, and she can't see them. Even though she's beyond winded, she can barely breathe. She just starts sprinting as fast as she can. And as she's stumbling and falling on the rocks and tripping because she's not really looking where she's going, in the background and all around her, she's hearing this bell chiming and she's hearing something moving around in the woods behind her. And she pulls her phone out of her pocket, her iPhone, and as she's running, she dials her father. She puts the phone to her ear. She's crying. She's panting. She can barely breathe. Her father picks up, and she's so relieved to hear his voice, but she can't even make a sentence. She just starts crying and wailing and pleading with him, Dad, come out to the forest. Meet me at the spot where the trail veers away from the stream. Meet me there. There's someone in the forest that's chasing me, and I can't see them. Her father, on the other end of the phone, he didn't know what to make of this, but he could hear the primal fear in his daughter's voice. And so he didn't ask any questions. He said, stay on the line. I'm coming to meet you right now. So Bella's father and mother, with Bella on the line, they run out of their house, they hop in their car, they speed the couple miles down the road, they park next to their daughter's car, and as they're running into the woods, they can hear way off in the woods the sound of the bell. They can hear the bell, they hear their daughter screaming on the phone, they can hear the bell coming through the phone, and she's begging them to please come into the woods, come in here, save me. And so the parents run into the woods and they begin running up the stream. Meanwhile, Bella, who's way out in the woods, she's still 10 or 15 minutes away from her parents. She is barely able to run at this point. She's exhausted almost all of her energy, and as she's getting closer and closer to her parents, the sporadic bell sound is getting louder and louder and louder, like whatever it is gaining on her, and she can hear behind her all these sticks and branches. They're breaking as if something is coming up to her, and finally, when it feels like this bell is right behind her head, she just kind of stops in defeat. She's too far away from her parents. She can't get to them in time. And so it was almost like she had to turn around and finally look at whatever it was that was behind her. And so terrified beyond words, Bella, who can barely breathe, she's so scared and so tired, she slowly turns around. Now, when she turns around and she's facing the other direction, she's looking across this clearing. She just happened to run past this clearing, and because it was a clearing, there was a little bit of moonlight that was coming down through the trees, just enough to illuminate this space that was about 50 feet wide. And as she's looking across this clearing, at first, she doesn't see anything. And then this tall, dark figure walks into the clearing. And as soon as it steps in, she can see it's got a bell at its waist. And with every step it took, it would violently ring the bell, causing the ringing sound. And so this thing starts moving into the clearing. And as Bella is staring at it, it was like time slowed down. She could not process what she was looking at. She didn't know what she was looking at. All she knew is whatever or whoever this is, they're coming straight at me. And so Bella suddenly got this unbelievable adrenaline.
I would have shat all over myself. I would have. I'm not even trying to lie. This is no joke. I'm not trying to be funny. I would have just pooed everywhere.
Rush. It was like her body went into autopilot to save her, and she turned around and began sprinting faster than she had ever sprinted in her life. And as she ran, all she could hear was the sound of that bell, which she now knew represented steps this thing was taking. And so the bell was getting faster and faster and louder, and she knew it was gaining on her, and she began lying and screaming out loud that, "I'm on the phone with the police, they're right up ahead, they're going to be here any moment." But whatever it was that was behind her, they weren't fazed. They were just charging ahead, gaining on her second by second. Meanwhile, her parents had made it to the meeting spot, but her father, he felt like, I can't just sit here. And he just starts charging into the woods. He can hear his daughter screaming. He can hear this bell getting louder and louder. He just starts running towards it. And sure enough, seconds later, he sees his daughter come bounding out of the forest, and she leaps into his arms. He just grabs her, turns around, and runs with her back to the meeting spot. He grabs his wife, and the three of them just charge out of the forest, back to the parking lot, back in their car, and they speed up. In the car, all of them are crying. They don't know what to make of what just happened. Bella's trying to describe it, but she can't. And her parents, they had been on the phone listening to their daughter screaming, and all they kept saying to each other, the parents, was, "I heard the bell. I heard the bell. I heard the bell," as if the bell confirmed their worst nightmares, that there really was someone or something out in those woods that was trying to do harm to their child. They would drive straight to the police station where Bella would file a report about what she experienced out in the forest, and then afterwards her parents, as a precaution, took her to the hospital where she was determined to be okay, besides some bumps and bruises from falling down. The following morning, the police went out to the forest, to the area where Bella had explained where she had been, and they searched all along that animal foot trail and all along the stream, but they never found any sign of this dark figure with the bell. Bella would tell police that she had a handbag, and as she was running back, she dropped the bag. She remembered where she dropped it along the stream, but when the police went to that area, the bag was gone. Also, the beaver was no longer there. It was not tied up to the tree. It was not on the ground. It was gone. The only thing police found that was out of the ordinary was they found a little ways off from the stream, basically along the path that Bella would have been running on, they found a t-shirt neatly folded, placed underneath a rock. But the police and Bella and her family have no idea what that signifies. Ultimately, the police told Bella and her family that more than likely what she ran into was some kind of mentally unstable person that was living out in the woods, and perhaps when Bella came into the woods, they felt like she was on their property, and so they kind of tried to scare her off. But Bella has a hard time accepting that. She felt like, as she was running from whoever was behind her, that she was in mortal danger. That had it not been for her father running into the woods and literally grabbing her and running with her the rest of the way, that she may not have gotten out of the woods at all. That she might have been attacked and killed by whoever this was. She also can't help, when she looks back at the entire experience, thinking about that moment when she turned around and looked across that clearing and saw this figure come into the moonlight for the first time. That when it came into the moonlight, the way it was moving, the steps it was taking, they weren't normal, they were abnormal. There was just something off about this thing's movement, that it didn't seem like she was looking at a person, but rather some big animal. But regardless, since her ordeal, there have been no strange sightings out in those woods. However, almost no one ever goes in those woods except for Bella and her family. And Bella and her family, they don't go in those woods anymore. So whoever or whatever is out there is still just out there. So that's going to do it, guys. If you found the secret in today's episode, let us know.
Oh my God. All right. And people always ask me, why do I always save MrBallen for last? You know the saying, save the best for last. Go to fireworks shows and they always have that last big kaboom. He's the kaboom. He's the game day bucket. Go boom. Just saying. I'm sorry, I didn't talk all up. That scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. His poor kids. I bet they hate it when he tells scary stories. They probably don't sleep for years. Alright, yeah, I'm done. That one got me. I'm good. I'm outie. So, if you're a fan of the spooky, scary, strange, or deranged, think about subscribing. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a thumbs up. Can't even talk now. I'm so nervous and scared. I don't know why I'm nervous and scared. No. All right. Like I say, if you enjoyed today's video, think about leaving a thumbs up. Give me your thumbs. I need your thumbs. I can't use my own thumbs. They really tend to help. And as always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Stay spooky.